Hey guys, this is John with the Alpha Channel update for Thursday, July 11th. And I have to reorganize how I do these. I need to promote Ashley Fox first. Ashley Fox is this is what I'm most proud of in my life. I spent a decade writing 2 novels. They're about 700 pages each, 13 hours of audiobooks each here on YouTube for free. It's 26 hours of audiobooks. This is essentially what Aeon Flux would be like if her childhood was in Los Angeles 300 years in the future with anti-gravity cities. She very much has Conan or Belit's character. She's a fight first, ask questions later type of character, and she has some amazing adventures. The first one starts with her father being declared an enemy of the state by the government, and she and her younger brother have to go on the run. It's an awesome story. There's serial killers who chase her. In the second novel, she gets sent to an orphanage run by serial killers preying on the children. I spent a lot of time writing these. I will never do anything unless I do something better than this. If I die tomorrow, this is my great accomplishment, and I can die happy because I did that and because I've learned to ride a skateboard. I've been in martial arts my entire life, and nothing has been as hard as learning to ride a skateboard. You're fighting cement, not other people. And cement doesn't care how much you beat it. It only hurts you. So nothing is as cool as this. I'm the happiest person I know. And you know what? A big part of it was this book right here, The Robe by Lloyd C. Douglas. I read this when I was young, when I was still in the military, in the Marine Corps. And this is the story of the Roman centurion, the tribune, who puts Jesus to death. And what it does to him. He's essentially a Conan character himself. And how it affects him and how it changes his mind. A lot of people, I want to talk a little bit about sunk cost fallacies before we get into Conan today. This is my comic that I did with a friend that I went to animation school with. He did all the art, I wrote the story. It's really good. It's not awesome. It has some problems. It's black and white. We want to color it. We've been working on other projects, but it's not bad. I love the art. I love his art. He's an amazing artist. And you guys can check it out. It's right here. It's the first link in the description down below. A free PDF. Check it out. It's digital. You can read it. Make fun of it. Let me know what you think. And the audiobooks are here on YouTube for you guys to check out. And I mentioned the sunk cost fallacy. So when I was younger, I believed things that weren't true, just like everybody else, because our culture inundates us with all kinds of things. Some of them you pick up and some of them you don't. Some of them are true and some of them are not. And you can't avoid it. Every culture has this. Whatever language you grew up learning, whatever culture you grew up immersed in, there are double binds, what Alan Watts calls the double bind. You must love me. Your parents say you must love me. But love is not distributed that way, or you must respect me, or all the musts, right? They're supposed to happen naturally. It's supposed to be spontaneous. And you can't force things that are supposed to be spontaneous. And changing your mind about things is supposed to happen with new evidence, and it's supposed to be spontaneous. That's what having an open mind means. Having an open mind is how I became anti-Jewish, racist, and not homophobic, but just anti-gay. So I'm just going to come right out and say that. And I believe having those 3 beliefs and being a white person makes you a white supremacist. And I believe Western civilization is the greatest civilization the world has ever known. I love the white languages. English, German, Spanish is a white language, French, Gaelic or Celtic or Irish, whatever you want to call it. The Scottish brogue should be its own language. Norwegian, Finnish. I would even consider Russian, Slavs to be white. So I love our culture. I love Japanese culture. Japanese culture and white culture have a lot of similarities. Chinese and Korean too. Why? Because we have a lot of similarities. There's a reason Germany and Japan were natural allies in the Second World War. There's a reason why the ideals that the Second World War was fought for have been destroyed in our current time. We are in Weimar, Germany, and we will see another Adolf Hitler. I am an artist. I went to animation school, but I'm not going to go into politics. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran. So Adolf and I have a lot in common. I did get to go to school, but I have been locked out of the industry by the corrupt Jews who run it. So I hate you, and I'm going to live my life to destroy your world. That's all there is. This is an autographed copy of The Robe, Lloyd C. Douglas. Jesus was you could say, he's not the, here it is, the autograph, Lloyd C. Douglas. If you haven't read this book, if you read this book, you'll hate Jews more than ever. Prove me wrong. So now we're going to move on to Wildwood Tarot for Conan. This is the Wildwood Tarot. I love these cards. Today is, this box is, just a box. Here's the book, comes with a book. And today is the Queen of Vessels, the salmon, swimming upstream. Most powerful fish. Oh, and tasty too. Here's the back. But isn't that just an awesome picture? So despite all my hatred, I do love art, and I'm not even really a hateful guy. I'm really a really happy, nice guy. I'm the happiest guy I know, to be honest. Today, this is Conan 66. We did this one a while ago, but it ends on a cliffhanger ending. So this Devilock, I say Devilock because the Misfits. If you guys remember Glenn Anselone's haircut while he was in the Misfits, he wore this Devilock. And now Jerry and Paul Khalifa, otherwise known as Jerry and Doyle, Jerry Only and Doyle von Frankenstein, wear the Devilock. Doyle's fucking yoked. That dude is awesome. So at the end of this, Misfits are the greatest band of all time, without a doubt. It's too bad Jerry and Paul, Jerry and Doyle, wanted to work in their father's machine shop and Glenn quit the band. That really does suck. Here's the last page of Conan 66 where Red Sonja arrives just as Conan and Belit find the treasure that they've been hired to seek out, which is this page of a magic manuscript. And Red Sonja gets there and confronts them. And so today we have Conan 67. This one is not folded well. Conan 67. And this is the story of Conan and Belit facing off against Red Sonja. And I really loved this story. So this cover is pretty cool. See the Catman on the cover? I had mentioned before that Conan has a very limited cast of characters. And there's some few people making return appearances here. I mean, obviously the writers knew that because they kept putting in the same characters. They didn't want to recreate them all the time. But what happened is the wizards sort of became interchangeable. So at the very beginning, they want this piece of magical manuscript. Conan and Belit are standing here, confronted by Red Sonja. And she explains, she gives her flashback of how she ended up there. She went through the sewers and had to fight some crocodile men. She was hired by Caranthes, who is in, we just did Conan 240, which I was really upset with. But that was a Caranthes story with Red Sonja. And they had hired Red Sonja to lose a battle to a wizard / landholder named Elrond. And it was just a bizarre story. Anyhow, yeah, it was stupid. This one's much better. And I think it was Roy Thomas too. But it looked like it had been drawn first and written later. This one, I did find some errors. I don't know if I'll remember them. I saw some awesome panels too. So this is mostly, what is this? Oh, yeah. Conan gives his backstory, his flashback of how they got there. And then Red Sonja immediately insults Belit, and Belit starts a fight. Because that's what happens. When someone disrespects you, attack them. When someone disrespects you, attack them. That's what you have to do. Because that's what's happening to you, white people, and you don't even know it. You're being disrespected and you're letting it slide. Don't let it slide. Fight back. Red Sonja escapes. Actually, there's a really cool thing that happens. Oh yeah, Red Sonja puts out the light and grabs the manuscript and escapes. And Conan doesn't go after her. Belit actually challenges her to a knife fight, which is kind of cool. Belit admits, if we go back here, Belit admits that Red Sonja can beat her with the sword and draws her knife, and which is stupid because the knife doesn't have the the reach of a sword. If she really meant to kill her, she should have thrown the knife. They're constantly throwing fucking swords. And that was when Red Sonja decides she says she's not going to fight her with a knife, and she'll just run. So she takes the manuscript and bounces. And she goes out the way she came in, through the sewer. Conan pauses and waits and convinces Belit to come with him, and they go out and find Sonja's horse. Sonja is nearby watching and waiting, and Conan tells Belit to go back to the ship, to the Black Corsairs, to keep them from sailing at dawn. They had instructions to sail at dawn if Conan and Belit didn't return in time. And so Belit takes Sonja's horse, which is, I guess. Conan is going to find Sonja, and Sonja actually runs out after Belit takes the horse. This is the good panel right down here at the bottom. Look at this panel. The way the dialogue works, you read the top, and then you get the caption at the bottom, and then you see, at the very bottom, you see Sonja running away, which is so cool. I'm going to try and do this in the light so you guys can see it. See her running away down there at the bottom? It's just a great panel. It's just a little bit... each of the characters are facing a different direction. This girl, her name is Tara. We don't know that yet. She's coming this way. Conan's going this way. Sonja's going that way. And it's a sort of a spiral effect. You guys probably couldn't see that. So Tara's facing this way. Conan's that way. And Sonja's in the distance. So there's sort of a spiral effect. I know I'm getting shadow on this. This is not really effective, is it? Anyhow, it's a good fucking panel. All the pages in this are good. This is a great issue. This is a great episode. There's a couple things that happen, but none of them were really that big of a deal. I do remember I was saying about the lack of recurring characters. Down here, the person who is following Conan is this blonde girl, and she needs his help. He knows her. She knows him. He had helped them back in a previous issue, and now she's come to let him know that her boyfriend is in prison, and she needs his help she needs Conan's help to get him out, to help him escape. So Conan agrees. He's not in a hurry for Sonja. He knows who she is. And he breaks into this is awesome. So get this, this is really cool. So he agrees to break in and bust her boyfriend out of the dungeon. Here he's climbing, getting up to the top, and there's a line about he needs to be soft-footed or something like that. This was really cool. And then we see Conan has taken off his boots. He's barefoot. So Roy Thomas, I don't know if he wrote in the barefoot thing first or if John Buscema drew it and Roy Thomas saw it and fixed it and caught it in the dialogue, but there it is. He's barefoot. That's really kind of cool. And so meanwhile, there is this guy too, this wizard who's watching, and he is not a good guy. He's got this cat, he's got a kitty cat, right? So Conan gets down into the dungeon, and there's a guy down there hassling Yusuf, and when Conan confronts him, he turns into a cat man. And Conan then has to fight this cat man. And now, one of the things, this is great dialogue too. Conan, I think it's in a thought balloon or just a caption, he realizes that, there's a lot of ads in this book, he realizes that if he's stealing a magical manuscript, it's only natural that he's going to have to face that there's probably more than one wizard after it, and he's going to have to face magical horrors that are going to send magical things, magical challenges that he's going to have to deal with. And that's what happens here. So the Catman turns back to human after Conan kills him. And Conan gets the keys. Look at this drawing. Look at this art where he's picking up the keys with the bounce light. Oh my God. It's so good. This is so good. And imagine what John Buscema would be like with modern colors. So anyhow, Conan gets in there. Yusuf is like, dude, I'm still chained to the wall. And there is a line that Conan says, what does he say? Something about the chains were made for city boys, not barbarians. But he should have said Sumerians, in my humble opinion. He should have said Sumerians instead of barbarians. I don't think barbarian was a word that he would have used to describe himself. Not that it matters. So yeah, they get out. Yusuf's girlfriend is pregnant. And they've got to fight their way back to them. And when they get out, they're pursued by guards from the dungeon who are not having it. And Conan has to fight them off and get Tara and Yosef on the wagon to get out of town. And also, this is kind of cool. So there's a third flashback in here. Well, while Yosef was in prison, he had managed to sneak over to the prisoner next door. Where does he explain? Oh, he doesn't explain that yet. Doesn't he? Yeah, he explains it right here. So he managed to sneak over, is another flashback, and have a conversation with the prisoner next door, who happened to be the wizard who had stole the page of the manuscript, and he tells Conan about it. He doesn't tell him a lot, but he tells him enough, I guess. And so then, now again, we have a 9-panel last page because John Buscema's got a lot of work to do on the last page. But Conan gets Tara and Yosef out of town, and then Red Sonja blasts past him on a horse. So that's where we leave off. I don't have the next one. I think the next one I have is in the 70s. So maybe we'll get it. We'll come back to it sooner or later. But yeah, Conan the Barbarian, number 67. A really good one. A really good one. And that's kind of all I've got. I did my little diatribe at the beginning instead of at the end. I've been involved in some drama on Twitter. I did see something this morning when I woke up. I've been watching Jimmy Reyes, who is Dave Finch's inker, for a couple months now. My cache is spread exceptionally thin right now, even for me. And so I haven't been able to back his book yet. But this morning I woke up to a ripetard attack on Jimmy, where it was clearly a planned attack because Jimmy has been saying for weeks that this book, at least as long as I've been watching, that this is going to be a black and white book. Someone found a line in the fine print of the original launch where Jimmy wanted to color this book. But at some point he changed his mind, and I guess maybe he didn't send out an email. He doesn't have a ton of backers, and he's only printing enough issues to fulfill the campaign. And the Ripetards launched their refund campaign. You people sucking Eric July's cock are pathetic. You're race traders. You think you're getting some upcomies in heaven for throwing away Western civilization for an ignorant Negro. Eric July cannot read and write. He shouldn't be allowed to speak English. It should be a capital crime for that retard to be allowed to speak English. He should have never been taught English. So please, I'm the most toxic person here on the internet. At least that's my goal. You ripetards are complete retards. I hope someday at a convention, someday I get to see some of you, and we get to have, and I get to insult you until you want to fight me. When I put on a big shirt, I look really skinny. You guys would think I'm a weakling. I put my hair back in a ponytail, start calling you names, and you'd think you'd kick my ass. And it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait.